search for higher learning had broken all known limits. A subatomic experiment gone wrong caused an uncontrollable fusion reaction to rip through planet Earth. Now, 1 year later, the fragmented planet has been classified condemned by the ruling imperial theocracy. Meaning that every freeloading scum in the universe has the right to raid the dead system and take anything left behind. Amidst the blasted remains of the forlorn Earth, the worst mercenaries this side of the sun do battle not only against each other, but also the robot sentinels that the government has left behind. Our future has become forsaken. Screaming through tunnels and roaring over the blackened plains, they seek the thrill of a post-apocalyptic head rush that only comes from such a deadly game. You must compete against the likes of Mephistophan, a veteran of a dozen droid combat wars, and the epitome of pure pumping metal devastation. Beard, a head-banging, beer-swilling hard mother who never blows out his buddies. Nubia, the meanest bitch this side of hell, with a kill-a-minute attitude and a trigger-happy mentality to match. When the Earth is left to die, and the galaxy's vilest progeny roam free, the future of our planet has become forsaken.
get what I want. We'll meet again.
You know, the guy that plays Marv in the Home Alone franchise, Daniel Stern, his last name is Stern too, don't forget.
Yeah, I know. I don't think he would make a big deal about it.
I know, right? And Daniel Stern even has his own YouTube channel. It's incredible.
I know, and it's hard to believe that Daniel Stern, you know, I saw pictures of him, you know, he looks a lot different than what he looked like in Home Alone. It's hard to believe that he has a full-grown beard, hangs down to his chest, and he has, you know, a full mustache and a full, you know, white mustache and a white beard, you know?
Yeah, I know it, right?
I know, and plus even Joe Pesci, you know, the guy that played Harry, you know, he looks a lot different. Plus, it's hard to believe that Joe Pesci is 78 years old.
He even had a movie that came out last year, about a year ago. He had a movie. I can't remember what it was called, but I was actually shocked to find out he was even still acting these days.
Yeah, I mean, if he enjoys doing it, but, you know, I mean, Joe Pesci, you know, ever since he made, you know, well, I mean, I know he's made movies after Home Alone, but actually, it's been quite a while since he's can't even remember the last time he made a movie.
Yeah, I know. It's like, well, yeah, I know Daniel Stern doesn't act as much these days either, but I heard back in 2008 he was in this one movie called Otis. I saw it at Walmart years ago, back when I had to work there at Woodrow Wilson when I was having my job training and all that and learning how to live on my own and everything like that. I hung out in the electronics while I was on my break or something, and I think there were even like a few times I would even sometimes buy DVDs there myself, even when we go on those trips to Walmart. But anyway, I even remember I saw this movie. It said Daniel Stern on the cast. It was called Otis. I never watched the movie, but I'm beginning to wonder if I find it on like Netflix or Tubi or whatever, I might give it a watch if anything. I'm curious.
Yeah, speaking of Daniel Stern, remember that joke we made up about Home Alone 2 after they got arrested? Like, let's say Harry and Marv appear up in court, and he's like, yeah, I bet you it would start out like this. They walk in the courtroom. Now remember, we're the Sticky Bandits. Shut up, Marv. When they walk in the courtroom, shut up, Marv. And stuff. Now, Red Bandits. I told you, we're the Sticky Bandits. It says here you're the Red Bandits, and I gotta go according to the paperwork here. Now, Harry and Marv. So what's your attention for these? So now, Harry and Marv. Now, since you guys broke out of prison, we just broke out of prison to stay on the case shooting when he shot up, Marv. Yeah, then I bet you'll be like, now, for this, you're gonna be in prison since you guys escaped from prison, you're gonna have to stay in prison for another 10 years. No! 11 years. No! 12 years. No! 13 years. If you keep saying no, I'll keep adding another year. No! 14. No! 15. And stuff.
Well, actually, in the courtroom, I thought the original one we made up went like this. He says, you sentence him to another 5 years, and then Marv screams, no! And then Harry goes, come on, just give us another chance. Yeah, and then 5 years go by, and they release Harry. They let Harry go out, but due to the fact that Marv kept being disruptive in the court, he had to stay for another 2 years, and then he goes, no! 3 years, no! 4 years, no! 5 years. You want to keep going at it? It'll be another year at it. No! 6 years. Oh, come on! 7 years and stuff. Yeah, he didn't even say no. When he got 7 extra years compared to Harry, what gave him that 7th year, he just says, oh, come on. He doesn't scream no,
Yeah, I know. I mean, well, basically, Harry and Marv, they didn't learn their lesson from the first time they got arrested because they broke out of prison. As stupid as Harry and Marv are, I wonder how they even managed to escape, especially, actually, when it comes to Harry and Marv, Harry actually was the smarter burglar. I mean, Harry did some dumb stuff too, but Marv was the stupidest one out of the two of them. It's amazing. I wonder how they managed to escape prison for how stupid, Marv is, with all the stuff that he does.
Don't forget,
I mean...
Yeah, and don't forget, that part where they're, robbing the Murphy's house, Marv's making all that noise and everything. Yeah, I know, Harry's like, you're one of the greatest cat burglars in the world, Marv. You think you can keep it down a little in there, huh? Stop.
Well, yeah, because they know, I mean, if they hear that stuff, and then they call the police and they grab them, well, Harry needs to realize eventually they're going to get caught. So Harry knew that they were going to get caught. That's why he was acting like that every time they would rob a house.
Yeah, I know, because, the more noise you make inside, I mean, it's like, they obviously can't just be remodeling in there, it's more than that.
Yeah, I know, what's funny is it's hard to believe that, other than Old Man Marley being home, it's hard to believe that everybody on that block goes away for the holidays, it's like, seriously, it's like, come on, it's like you would think, in real life, there's no way they could have done that during the day. Somebody would have seen that, and said, wait a minute, this van here keeps, driving around this neighborhood and they're pulling in everybody's driveway, something suspicious is going on here, and stuff. And plus, Kevin even noticed that, when he went past the Murphy's house when he was going to get that toothbrush, he's like, I thought the Murphys went to Florida, because he didn't know what was going on.
don't forget it was a plumber's van, which they obviously stole too, you know. It's like that added more time to their sentence, because don't forget they were driving a stolen vehicle, you know.
Yeah, I know, and actually, I saw the one scene, you know, remember the one part, you know, after they got done robbing the Murphy's house, and as stupid as Marv is, you know, he plugs up the drains in the kitchen sink, and he leaves the water running, and then he steals a VCR, and he puts it in the van, and then all of a sudden he throws his jacket, he throws like a blanket over all that stuff to cover everything so they don't get busted, you know, and then he starts laughing, then Harry's like, what's so funny? What's so funny? What are you laughing at? He's like, you did it again, didn't you? You left the water running, didn't you? He's like, what's wrong with you? Why do you do that? I told you not to do it. Harry, it's our calling card. Oh, calling card. You know, even Harry got mad at Marv for some of the stuff that he did too, you know, and I don't blame him, you know. It's like, come on, you know, it's bad enough that you robbed the house, but, you know, you don't have to wreck the house too, you know?
Yeah, I know it, man.
To tell you the truth, you know, if a burglar broke into my house, I mean, yeah, you know, I mean, I wouldn't be happy if they robbed my house. I would be mad, but I would be even more pissed if they wrecked the house too. You know, it's not necessary to wreck the place too. You know.
Exactly.
You know, if a burglar breaks into your house, you know, just take what you want. Just take whatever you want and go. You don't have to wreck the place.
Yeah, because wouldn't if they didn't have homeowners insurance, you know, they'd have been screwed.
Well, first of all, you know, I mean, you know, well, you shouldn't have to pay for that if somebody does. If a burglar breaks into your house and robs your house and damages your house, you know, basically your insurance would have to cover it. You know, I mean, you know, it's not your fault that somebody robbed your house. You know, somebody broke into your house and they robbed your house. You know, I mean, burglars, you know, even when you go on vacation, even when you lock up your house and everything, I mean, they got different things now, but burglars, you know, they can still get in even when the doors are locked. You know, they figure out ways to get in. You know, they could break a window if they really want to get in there. All they have to do is break a window and they could climb through the window to get into your house.
Yep.
So basically, if they do damage to your house, you know, your insurance should cover that, you know, and stuff. Basically, if that were to happen.
Oh yeah.
Well, look, you know, Harry did some stupid stuff in that movie too. You know, I mean, well, even Marv got set up with Harry at one point. You know, at the very end, you know, when he's like, "What are you kidding me? You want to come here tonight? Even the kid here?" You know, I mean, you know, Harry really wanted to rob, you know, the McAllister's house. I mean, you know, Marv wanted to rob it too, but Harry, he was obsessed with that house.
But on top of that, you know, due to the conspiracy theory about Uncle Frank being like the possible hidden main antagonist of the whole story, and Harry and Marv just being his toadies, like that could really explain why. Because don't forget, you know, I mean, Frank was willing to, you know, pay him handsomely if he could, like, you know, steal his brother's house. Because, you know, you see how greedy Frank is. You know, he really hates Kevin. He's, you know, he obviously seems to envy his brother's wealth, and it's like he just wants to steal a lot of what his brother has, you know, and that way Harry and Marv would get blamed for it, and, you know, his brother wouldn't even know what he was up to.
Yeah, I know. Well, basically, I mean, I think Uncle Frank liked, you know, his brother, but, you know, I think he might have been jealous of his brother because he didn't have the money that he had, because, you know, Frank was a real cheapskate. I remember, you know, when they ordered, you know, pizza the night before they left for vacation, when they had that, you know, the pizza, you know, that night, you know, Frank's, you know, wife Leslie is like, "Frank, you got some money, don't you? Come on." And he's like, "Traveler's checks." And then Kevin's like, "Forget it, Frank, we have cash and stuff."
On top of that, you have to also keep in mind that, you know, for all we know, Leslie probably does all the work and financial stuff, you know, and Frank's probably a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah, most likely. And I remember when they were on the plane, you know, Frank actually, you know, stole some crystal, you know, like some crystal glasses, you know, and he's like, "Hey, look, it's real crystal. It's real. So put them in your purse." And he's like, "Put it. I can't do that. Put them in your purse." You know, and then he's like, "Here, fill it up. Just fill it up, please. Thank you," and stuff.
Yep. And when he was stealing the airline equipment, that's another piece of evidence that he was likely responsible for everything that happened in it.
Yeah, I know. Luckily Frank didn't get caught for that, stealing, crystal glasses on a plane.
And it's obviously not going to be him charged for the stolen equipment. It's going to be his brother, obviously,
Yeah, I know. I mean, you can tell that Frank, he was a real jerk, stealing crystals on a plane because there weren't a lot of money and stuff like that, crystal glasses and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine this. Imagine if Harry and Marv, you know how crazy Harry was over, Kevin's house, the McAllister's house. Imagine if Harry saw Brian's house. I wonder what he would do.
Oh, yeah.
I bet you would be like this. Seriously, Harry, you want to come here to find it? I like this house is 10 times better than the McAllister's house. Look at this. I bet he would go crazy if they saw Brian's house for how big that house was.
Yeah, I know, right?
Tell you the truth, I think Brian's house, is bigger than the McAllister's house, I think.
Yeah, I would say so too, and not to mention how the McAllisters, I don't know, since the house has been remodeled over the years and it's been auctioned off for like $4 million. Yeah, it's like, back at the time though, it's like they didn't have a cool basement. Their basement was just for laundry and storage, that was it. And it's like, when it came to that basement, see, Brian's basement was a living space basement and was finished. And it had that movie theater silver screen down there for the TV.
Well, first of all, it would be hard for Harry and Marv to steal that big thing. How are they going to fit that thing in that little van that they've got? But still, there's a lot of other stuff they could steal in that house.
Say, hypothetically, Harry and Marv were to steal a moving van or something instead of a plumber's van. Did that ever occur to you? They could do that.
Yeah, they could, because actually, that one scene, where Marv left the water running at the Murphy's house, when Harry said, you're sick, man, you're really sick, you could see that they had Harry had like a screwdriver that he uses to start the van up. Yeah, because I could see, Harry didn't have any car keys to start the van, I think he used like a screwdriver to start the van up with the ignition. Yeah, like what, did you notice that, or?
What now?
Did you notice that Harry had a screwdriver that he used to start that van that they took in that movie Home Alone?
Actually, I never did notice that. It's obvious he didn't have the actual keys for it, because you can tell good and well that van was stolen, so he obviously wouldn't have had the regular ignition key for it. But a lot of times, even rather than a screwdriver, they hotwire them.
Yeah, I know, maybe that's what they did, but, I could have sworn I saw, like, a screwdriver. I mean, I'd have to watch it again, but I could have sworn he used something to start it. Plus, I'll bet you $1 million, he probably stole that police, Harry probably stole that police, uniform, to make him look like a policeman, at the beginning of it when he kept, asking everybody, when they were leaving so that they could rob that house, and stuff. I'll bet you $1 million he probably stole that police uniform from somebody.
Harry impersonated a police officer. That had given him another sentence.
Yeah, I know, and then he makes up some crap, that we're just checking the neighborhood to make sure that everything is okay for proper precautions and stuff, and that's when, well, first of all, that was Peter McAllister's fault that Harry and Marv actually went over there too, because basically, Peter was, Kevin's dad was the one that let him in the house. my brother's, my husband's brother's here, and all that. And you could see, Harry was like standing in the living room, where the piano was at, looking around, and they're like looking at different things to see what they might want to steal when they rob the house. So you kind of knew that something fishy was going on with him. He's kind of like looking around in the house, looking at different things on what they could take.
Yeah.
Yeah, then after that, then he's like, hey, you're having a reunion or something? Or something he's like,
Yeah.
Well, basically, if Harry got caught looking around in the living room, I'll bet you, if Kevin's dad says, what are you looking at? He's like, oh, nothing, just making sure, everything's okay. I bet you he would have made something up, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, plus I'll bet you $1 million. I'll bet you Marv was probably sitting in the van, probably waiting for Harry when he went inside the house.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, imagine if Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern had to go through that same pain again in another Home Alone, and they're a lot older now. It's hard. Can you imagine Harry being almost 80 years old? Burning his hand on a burning doorknob and burning his head with a blowtorch, and falling down the stairs, several times, and
Yeah, that would have been miserable.
I'll bet you $1 million. Imagine if they said, hey, Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci, we're going to be making a Home Alone. I'll bet you Harry was like, I am not interested. I'm not going through that again. Going through that pain again? Are you kidding me? I ain't doing that again. I bet you that's what he would say. Alright, well actually, I should probably get going. Yeah, because it's, so.
Yeah, besides, I have a lot of stuff I need to do too. I gotta clean and, make preparations. My dad's coming up this Saturday anyway. Well, anyway, I guess I may call you.
My phone is down to like 40%, so I've got to charge my phone.
Yeah, good thinking there. But and I guess I could probably talk to you again maybe the day after Christmas or something, or you could just call me at your convenience. But next week I may go to Clubhouse. Next week I'm not sure. I got to find out tomorrow morning. But anyway, I guess I'll talk to you hopefully soon.
Okay, well actually, do you want me to call you this time since you called me the last couple of times? Like, do you want me to give you a call like after Christmas? Like, what would be a good day for me to call you after Christmas?
I guess I don't know, just whenever.
Okay, yeah, maybe a couple of days after Christmas, maybe like the 27th or the 28th, I'll give you a call.
All right, well I'll talk to you then.
Okay, I'll talk to you after Christmas.
Okay, bye.